Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining us on the Jamaican Diaspora live online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. This is the program created to celebrate what can happen when Jamaicans abroad join hands with Jamaicans at home. Hello to those listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, that number is 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook and the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat, you should still be able to watch the Jamaican Diaspora live online. But you can always go to YouTube, which is up and running. All you need is a smartphone or a tablet, computer, laptop, desktop, any one of those. Then you need internet connection, which is important. But even more important than connection is connectivity. And one sure way to test for connectivity is by opening a browser like Google Chrome, for example. And if you're able to browse, then you're good to go. If not, then you might need to get some help to resolve that issue. In the meantime, we look forward to your full participation. After all, it is your program, the Jamaican Diaspora live online. As the late Charles Hyatt used to ask, where are you and how are you? And so we're asking, where are you and how are you? Wherever in the world you are, I would love to know, where are you and how are you on this Saturday, the 7th of January, 2023. Would love to know what's going on in your neck of the woods, what's trending where you are. In the meantime, good morning to those of you who have joined us, morning time, wherever it is morning. But we are cognizant of the fact that because there are so many time zones that are being served by us, we're cognizant of the fact that the greeting is not just good morning, but it's also good afternoon, good evening, in some respects, good night. Kamali Clark says, bless morning to you too, Kamali Clark. Thank you very much for tuning in, and all the very best to you. Beverly in Toronto, Canada says, good morning, and promising 2023 to you, Sir D. Thank you very much, Beverly in Toronto, Canada. Good morning to Peter Gracie of This Is Jamaica. Thank you very much for tuning in this early, Peter Gracie. Kamali Clark is in the UK, and we're able to decipher that much because he has posted a replica of the UK flag. There are a couple of clapping hands and the 100 icon. Welcome again, Kamali Clark. Norman Hines in St. Thomas says, good morning, Sir Dervan Malcolm and listeners all over the Jamaican diaspora. We accept greetings on their behalf as well. Peter Gracie says January 7th is when John Baden Powell founded the Boy Scout. I have it stuck in my head from my childhood days when I joined in Jamaica. Great to see you. You're a great teacher. You're very kind, Peter Gracie. Thank you very much. He is in Leesburg, Florida. Good to know you're great. We're fine, thanks. Thank you very much, Peter Gracie. Patrick Hyman, good morning to you. Patrick Hyman is in St. Martin. So let's see now. Is that Dutch St. Martin or French St. Martin, Patrick Hyman? If it's French St. Martin, then we should say to you, bonjour, bonjour, which literally means good day, but also means hello. Bonjour, Patrick, if you're in French St. Martin. If you're in Dutch St. Martin, I believe they would say Guten Morgen, Guten Morgen. That's good morning. Guten Morgen. And he confirms, in fact, that he is in Dutch St. Martin. So, Guten Morgen, Guten Morgen, Patrick Hyman. Guten Morgen to you. Good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us, and all the very best. Thank you. Let's go straight to the Gleaner right now to give you an idea of the stories that have made the news this week in Jamaica. Lawful killing. Police constable's shooting death during robbery ruled justified by coroner's court. According to the story by Janet Silvera, a special coroner's court has ruled that the shooting death of a police constable who met his demise in a bar by one of his colleagues in Hopewell, Hanover, during a robbery was a lawful killing. The police constable Kamar Beckford, who was stationed in Westmoreland at the Betheltown police station at the time of his death, was shot in 2015 by retired Detective Inspector Wayne Jacobs, who was a patron at the bar at the time of the robbery. Findings of the case, which were sent to the court in April 2022, were read by Parish Court Judge Carol Hughes during the inquest in Lucy on Friday morning, 7 years after the shooting made the headlines. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, concluded in 2015 that Jacobs should not face criminal charges. However, their recommendation at the time was for the matter to be referred to the coroner's court for a determination as to whether an inquest was necessary. Evidence at the time, INDICOM said, indicated that Beckford was shot dead while committing aggravated robbery at Lorna's Bar and Grill in the parish. Inspector Jacobs was reportedly shot 3 times during the shootout, while another patron was shot once. According to reports, shortly after 1 a.m. on April 2, 2015, Beckford, who was wearing a mask, entered the bar in Hopewell with a gun in hand and began robbing patrons. He was challenged by the off-duty policeman who returned fire. Beckford died on the spot. The police constable was fingered in several robberies in the parishes of Hanover and St. Elizabeth, where he resided. At the time of his death, an eyewitness told the Gleaner that had the detective inspector not challenged Beckford, it would have been a case of mass murder inside the bar. And you can read on to learn more in that story. A couple of sports stories are previewed on the front page of today's Gleaner. Beach brightens volleyball outlook for 2023. And Edwin Allen's coal set to shine. Massey distribution worker goes on paternity leave in June. Paternity leave has already been approved for one employee of Massey distribution who will go off on 25 days leave in June, which equates to 5 weeks of paid leave, 1 more week than what fathers in the public sector are entitled. June is the month when the employee's wife is projected to give birth, and his leave is timed to coincide with her maternity leave. This makes massive distribution among the first private sector firms here in Jamaica to incorporate a paternity leave policy into its overall human resources plan, in keeping with the government's move to facilitate paid paternity leave for public sector workers, which took effect on the 1st of January this year. There's a most colorful photo on the front page of the Gleaner. It's the photo of the day, the Accompong Maroons of St. Elizabeth celebrating their 285th anniversary yesterday, the 6th of January, at Accompong in the parish, where they marched from the ceremonial area to the community square. Nonsense is the caption of another of the stories. WRHA, which is the Western Regional Health Authority head rubbishes PNP's claim about dispute over hiring of doctors for Cornwall Regional Hospital. The Western Regional Health Authority, WRHA, has dismissed claims by the opposition People's National Party, PNP, about a hiring dispute between some qualified doctors and the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. St. Andrade Sinclair, Regional Director of the Western Regional Health Authority, said there was no hiring dispute with doctors, as stated by Dr. Maurice Guy, the opposition spokesman on health and wellness, in a media release on Friday. You can read on to learn more as we turn the pages of the Gleaner virtually. Give, and this is an acronym or an acrostic for an organization, capital GIVE, reaching out to the less fortunate. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
6:15 in the morning here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it is 11:15 a.m. in London, England.
The Trust and Corporate Services Providers Act 2017 and the Trust and Corporate Services Providers Regulations 2022 require that individuals and corporate entities be licensed by the Financial Services Commission. Individuals and entities that were providing a corporate or trust service before April 25, 2022 must therefore submit an application to the FSC for the appropriate license on or before April 24, 2023. Relevant stakeholders are encouraged to apply now. Application forms may be obtained from the FSC's website at www.fscjamaica.org.
You ever hear earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced. And when it comes, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you miss earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't answer the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up are full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box out here. Drop, cover, hold on.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Watch TVJSN or One Spot Media on Friday, January 20, to see the exciting culmination of the RJR Gleaner National Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year Awards for 2022. Learn who will be Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year and who will take home the Chairman's Award, the People's Choice Award, the Youth Award, and the Lifetime Achievement Award. Sponsored by VM Group, J. Rand Besley, Main Event Entertainment Group Limited, the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, Pure Country, Free Your Image Consultancy, Television Jamaica, the Gleaner Company Media Limited, TVJ Sports Network, Radio Jamaica Limited, Hits 92 FM, Power 106 FM, RETV, Jamaica News Network, and One Spot Media.
Wherever you go, in tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go,
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. I am Dervan Malcolm. Good morning and welcome to Asha Ash, who continues to enjoy Jamaica. She has been in Jamaica for quite some time now, and I hope she still has a job when she goes back to the UK. Just kidding. But it's good to have you spend this much time in Jamaica, Asha Ash. May you continue to enjoy. All the best. And good morning once again, and have a nice day too to you. Thank you very much. Keep the comments coming in here on your program, the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's see. A couple more messages coming in on the various platforms. All right, keep them coming in. In the meantime, let's just continue with the Gleaner, the organization that is featured on page 82 is called Give. So the headline is Give, Reaching Out to the Less Fortunate. And there are pictures of members of the organization. Give stands for Give Back to the Community Will Inspire Victory in Everyone. So it's the Giving Back to the Community Will Inspire Victory in Everyone Foundation. And there's a picture of members of the organization examining, where are they? They're at, in Cherry District, Dover, St. Catherine. And they apparently made presentations of care packages to those in need in the community. Struggle for Black freedom continues, Reverend Gale. Jamaicans have been challenged to continue the fight for freedom and peace along the lines articulated by national hero Marcus Mosiah Garvey and his wife Amy Euphemia Garvey, née Jacques or Jakes. In throwing out this challenge, the Reverend Father Bertram Gale on Saturday used the homily during the memorial service for Amy Garvey at the St. Andrew Parish Church in Halfway Tree to question the progress made by Black people in Jamaica after 60 years of political independence. And there's a picture of a moment in that ceremony. Ministry of Health urges COVID-19 vigilance. And also making the news. Let's go through quickly. This one, this is judge wraps cops for treatment of ill drug accused. Alleged cop killer caught is another of the stories. Year-end target for Cornwall Regional Hospital building under construction. Violence could render more inadequacies on emergency fleet, says the health minister. The Good Heart section of the Gleaner is replete with stories of people doing good. Pocket Rocket Foundation ups scholarship allocation, 7 student athletes awarded. 72-year-old happy to bring senior spelling bee title back to St. Mary. That's Olga Williams. Baxter's Mountain Primary School principal determined to put her students on top. Terry Salmon, stemming gender-based violence with the arts, 1,000 benefit from back to school outreach. Supermodel Stacey McKenzie giving back to communities through the walk camp. Ian Lee Stewart grateful for new place to call home. MAIA Foundation implements eco villages in Denham Town, Hannahtown. Asha Murray giving back, creating opportunities in Whitfield Town. Yvonne Townsend helps 305 in 30 years. So these are all good stories, or as the section is captioned, Good Heart, the Good Heart section of the Gleaner. Also in the news, sadly, a reflection on those who left us in 2022, Part 2. Ricky Walters, Dennis Denden Hutchinson, Dr. Richard Kirkwood, George Forbes, Scott Bambury, Charmaine Rose Anderson, Mona Hammond, Denroy Morgan, Lenworth Rowell, Scott Khalif Lawrence, Louisa McDonald, Christopher McFarlane, Edley Lopez Deans, Russell Hammond, Carmen Clark, Albert Jarrett, Wesley James, Paulette Bradnock, Francis Tullo, Merrick Needham, Dorothy Peart, Dr. Mavis Burke. May their souls rest in peace and light perpetual shine on their face. The letter of the day: when did we lose our civic pride? The cartoon in today's Gleaner: somewhere in Jamaica, skimpily clad females and shabbily attired males. And let's see what's happening now. There's a newspaper on the ground with the headline, COVID alert heightens again. And the creature wearing the cloak, COVID-19 new variant, is supposedly saying, because the people here in this gathering are not wearing masks. So this creature, who also seems to represent the devil, is supposedly saying, no masks, no social distancing, my kind of crowd. And a female member of the public supposedly says, you come back, and the COVID-19 new variant individual supposedly saying, after me never gone. 3 Miles continues to suffer is another letter to the editor. The editorial, a way around traffic chaos. Another letter, physical security critical to protect digital assets. Caribbean can't afford to sit on the sidelines is another of the letters. And before time runs out in this segment, let's see the other stories. The columnist Ronald Sanders' subject is the fallacy of President Juan Guaido is over. The fallacy of President Juan Guaido is over. Tony Dale's contribution today, this time tomorrow. That's the caption. The Gleaners regaling us as well with the year 2022 in photos. And you can enjoy some of those pictures and commiserate as far as others are concerned, because they cover every emotion you can think of 2022. Cuban migrants arrive in Florida to uncertain future. Police probing sudden death of 18-year-old basketball player in the Bahamas. Guyana imposes new travel restrictions for travelers from China. Police seeking overseas assistance in crime matter involving former deputy speaker. Out of Barbados. In Venezuela, exiled lawmakers chosen to lead anti-Maduro fight. In Puerto Rico, Turks and Caicos policemen accused of harboring migrants. Lots of classified ads. You can check them out. Renting places, selling vehicles, etc., etc. The sports section, Beach Brighton's volleyball outlook for 20. One of the sports stories, the front page of today's Gleaner. Williams makes move to Colorado switchbacks. Zone leaders clash in JWPL. That's the Jamaica Women's Premier League. And let's see what else is in sports. Bills Hamlin breathing on his own joins team via video. That's encouraging news. Stadium repairs to begin in Trinidad and Tobago for CYG. Also, Edwin Allen's coal set to shine at Pure Water JC Meet. And the, let's see. Also, well, our time is up, eh? Let's leave it there for now. You can get your physical copy of the Gleaner or subscribe, get an e-copy of the Gleaner. That's what's in the Gleaner today.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
6:30 in the morning here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 7:30 a.m. in Hamilton, Bermuda.
Hose Assembly and Supply HAS is the best at what they do. They supply hoses, fittings, and tools. They guarantee they are unbeatable in price and quality combined. Branded by you as the hose and tool boss with the most effective industrial solutions. Come experience the joy of shopping with the Hose Boss. Call 876-923-3936 or visit them at 173 Hagley Park Road, 2 Charlesworth Crescent, or Montego Bay Trade Center. HAS would like to thank their customers for over 30 years.
Gary, you know what you learn as we there, don't it?
Yeah, man. Oh, you ready for yours?
Yeah, how many know which part to start?
It's easy, man. Just follow me. I'm reach 17 years old and can read all right. You can get a learners. But first, if you pass the road code test, you can make an appointment for the test by emailing roadcodetest@mtw.gov.jm or by calling 876-754-1900. Or you can visit any examination depot. After you pass the test, you pay $1,800 at the nearest tax office, and just like that, you're good to go.
The Island Traffic Authority, an entity for road safety good.
For 50 years, Under the Law has been helping you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. The program is brought to you on Tuesdays by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. Grow smart, eat smart. Under the Law at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. That's 4 and 9:55 p.m. on Power 106 FM.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Colonel Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Wherever you go, in tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, You never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go, you need to know.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. While we stand by to make a connection with one of our guests, let's on the particular topic has to do with that situation in the United States where it happened eventually, but it did take a while to appoint a speaker, to elect a speaker to America's House of Representatives. So the news this morning is after 4 days and 15 rounds of voting, Kevin McCarthy's humiliating wait to become Speaker of America's House of Representatives ended. A caucus of 20 hard-right Republicans had initially blocked his path, but a swathe of concessions, including allowing a single lawmaker to force a vote on ousting the Speaker, eventually persuaded enough of them to drop their opposition. That's how The Economist is reporting on that story. And we're standing by to get a perspective on that. But let's just share with you in the meantime how the rest of the media are covering this subject. So let's go to BBC. Kevin McCarthy has been elected Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives after heated exchanges which almost saw fellow Republicans come to blows. It took 15 rounds of voting for Mr. McCarthy, to win the job, despite his party having a majority in the chamber. It came after a dramatic pressure campaign played out live on the House floor as party rebel Matt Gaetz was urged to vote for Mr. McCarthy. The Florida congressman was among 6 holdouts who relented late on Friday. Earlier, amid heated scenes in the chamber, Mr. Gaetz had almost come to blows with Representative Mike Rogers, a supporter of Mr. McCarthy. The Alabama congressman had to be physically restrained by colleagues as he bellowed and jabbed his finger at Mr. Gaetz. The Speaker sets the House agenda and oversees legislative business. The post is second in line to the presidency after the U.S. Vice President. Speaking after his confirmation, Mr. McCarthy wrote on Twitter, "I hope one thing is clear after this week. I will never give up, and I will never give up for you, the American people." Mr. McCarthy told reporters that former President Trump had helped him get the final votes. "I don't think anybody should doubt his influence," McCarthy said. "He was with me from the beginning. He would call me and he would call others," he said. U.S. President Joe Biden congratulated Mr. McCarthy for his win and said he looked forward to cooperating with the Republican Party. Republicans have already pledged to launch investigations into Mr. Biden's family business dealings and administration. In a remarkable turnaround in the 12th round of voting, Mr. McCarthy was able to persuade 14 Republican holdouts to cast their vote for him. A 15th rebel followed suit for the 13th ballot. After the 13th ballot was adjourned, Mr. McCarthy insisted to reporters that he would have the votes to take the speakership on the next round. But the California congressman was still 3 votes short of the 217 he needed to take the prized gavel. And in chaotic and dramatic scenes, he again failed to win on the 14th ballot. The dissidents included members of the House Freedom Caucus, who argue that Mr. McCarthy is not conservative enough to lead them as they work to try to oppose Democratic President Joe Biden's agenda. Mr. McCarthy has offered various concessions to the rebels, including a seat on the influential Rules Committee, which sets the terms for debate on legislation in the chamber. He also agreed to lower the threshold for triggering a vote on whether to unseat the Speaker to only one House member, leading to the possibility that the Republican coalition could easily fracture again, even after Mr. McCarthy's victory. As the last politician on the roll, Montana's Ryan Zinke voted, the House floor erupted in applause as it became clear Mr. McCarthy had finally emerged victorious. Mr. McCarthy hugged other representatives and signed autographs, but across the room, the Democrat side was completely silent. No Democrat applauded. Senior Democratic Party lawmakers accused Mr. McCarthy of ceding power to an extreme wing of his party and likened the standoff to the riot exactly 2 years ago on Capitol Hill by Trump supporters who disrupted Mr. Biden's certification as president. So those who've been following that has ended in that has ended. So that's the story from the perspective of BBC. So we shared you a perspective from The Economist, one from the BBC, and of course, naturally, CNN would have their perspective as well, with the lead, "I never give up," Speaker McCarthy says after protracted election. All right, so we're still on a standby for our guest on that subject. We might have to move right along to another subject as we stand by. Yes, we might have to move along. There's a feature that was done on a Jamaican who is involved with an organization, NCNW. They will be looking to bring a level of awareness to human trafficking, which they have dubbed the modern day slavery, and they're encouraging us to wear blue on January 11, post on all social media platforms, photo with hashtag Wear Blue Day, hashtag NCNWHTAC. So that's, and recommendations for design of a mobile application to support management of anxiety and depression among Black American women. That's another of the issues being tackled. And involved is a Jamaican, at least one, Terika McCall. The others being Megan Threats, Malvika Pillai, Adnan Lakdawala, and Clinton S. Bolton III. So the story is Black American women experience adverse health outcomes due to anxiety and depression. They face systemic barriers to accessing culturally appropriate mental health care, leading to the underutilization of mental health services and resources. Mobile technology can be leveraged to increase access to culturally relevant resources. However, the specific needs and preferences that Black women feel are useful in an app to support management of anxiety and depression are rarely reflected in existing digital health tools. The study aims to assess what types of content, features, and important considerations should be included in the design of a mobile app tailored to support management of anxiety and depression among Black women. Focus groups were conducted with 20 women, the mean age being 36.6 years, and with 5 participants per group. Focus groups were led by a moderator with note taker present, using an interview guide to discuss topics such as participants' attitudes and perceptions towards mental health and use of mental health services and content, features, and concerns for design of a mobile app to support management of anxiety and depression. Descriptive qualitative content analysis was conducted. Recommendations for content were either informational or inspirational. Suggested features allow users to monitor their progress, practice healthy coping techniques, and connect with others. The importance of feeling a sense of community was emphasized. Transparency about who created and owns the app and how users' data will be used and protected was recommended to establish trust. The findings from this study were consistent with previous literature, which highlighted the need for educational, psychotherapy, and personal development components for mental health apps. There has been exponential growth in the digital mental health space due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, a one-size-fits-all approach may lead to more options, but continued disparity in receiving mental health care. Designing a mental health app for and with Black women may help to advance digital health equity by providing a tool that addresses their specific needs and preferences and increase engagement. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
15 minutes to 7 o'clock in the morning here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 2:45 a.m. in Anchorage, Alaska.
The Trust and Corporate Services Providers Act 2017 and the Trust and Corporate Services Providers Regulations 2022 require that individuals and corporate entities be licensed by the Financial Services Commission. Individuals and entities that were providing a corporate or trust service before April 25, 2022 must therefore submit an application to the FSC for the appropriate license on or before April 24, 2023. Relevant stakeholders are encouraged to apply now. Application forms may be obtained from the FSC's website at www.fscjamaica.org.
In case of an earthquake and the place not shaking, drop, cover, and hold on. Drop, cover, and hold on. In case of an earthquake, you gotta stay calm. Move away from doors, windows, and things that can fall. Try not to use steps or elevators at all. Learn how to protect yourself during an earthquake. Log on to weready.org. That's weready.org for more information.
Watch TVJSN or One Spot Media on Friday, January 20 to see the exciting culmination of the RJR Gleaner National Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year Awards for 2022. Learn who will be Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year and who will take home the Chairman's Award, the People's Choice Award, the Youth Award, and the Lifetime Achievement Award. Sponsored by VM Group, J. Rand Deview, Main Event Entertainment Group Limited, the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, Pure Country, Free Your Image Consultancy, Television Jamaica, the Gleaner Company Media Limited, TVJ Sports Network, Radio Jamaica Limited, Hits 92 FM, Power 106 FM, RETV, Jamaica News Network, and One Spot Media.
In tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, Wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go, shine. You need to know, shine. Anything you want to be. You give me hope. Shine.
Thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in. And there's one thing just occurred to me that we didn't see a diaspora page this week. Not sure. We didn't see a diaspora page this week. So maybe it's well, maybe they're on a break. Maybe they're on a break. Speaking of break, a lot of fundraisers are on again. Those that were off are on again with what has happened with respect to COVID-19. And we want to share a few of these with you. Fred Kennedy is inviting Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica and everybody in Canada to the Jamaican Canadian Association on Sunday, the 8th of January. That's tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock for the launch of his book, his latest book, entitled Firstborn, firstborn. It will be, the MC will be Monica Walters Field. The president of the Jamaican Canadian Association, David Betty, will be there. Lincoln Downer, Jamaica's Consul General at Toronto, and Dr. Marianne Chambers, who chairs Grace Foods Canada Incorporated, along with Mary Lou Suter Hines, author and educator. So that takes place tomorrow afternoon at 2 at the Jamaican Canadian Association at 995 Arrow Road in North York, Ontario, Canada. The 24th annual Martin Luther King Jr. celebration is coming up on the 14th of January. That's next week, Saturday, 6:30 in the evening. Overcoming Adversities, Empowering Communities. The keynote speaker will be Dr. Calvin Watkins, headliner Samantha Howard, #1 Billboard Gospel Artist. And the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship and Awards presentation will also unfold next week, Saturday evening at 6:30. And this will all take place at the Canada Christian College, 300 Water Street in Whitby, Ontario. And also happening next week, Saturday, Happy Moments Ontario, in collaboration with Rondell Positive Movement International, bringing you Purpose Summit International 2023. And that is next Saturday evening, next Saturday. And there's another one that is happening. Learn Your Rights, Black Workers Resource Hub, Bridging the Gap, Black Workers' Rights and Realities. It's providing a safe place to learn about your rights at work, meet advocates and experts in the Black community, and join campaigns to win improvements for all workers. And this is Saturday, the 18th of February, from 11 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. There'll be refreshments and entertainment. And there's a QR code that you can scan as well. Jamaica College Old Boys Association of Canada will be hosting their 33rd annual gala. It's a benefit event for the scholars of Jamaica College. It will be held at the Queen's Manor Event Centre, 2 Auction Lane, Brampton, Ontario, nearest intersection, Airport Road and Queen Street East. And on Saturday the 4th, it takes place Saturday the 4th of March, cocktails at 6:30 in the evening, dinner at 7:30, and entertainment, Dance the Night Away. Contribution, 100 Canadian dollars. Tickets available at jcobaca_gala2023.eventbrite.ca. And their e-poster also has a QR code that you can scan. The NOXPA Students Association Toronto chapter also presenting their 30th anniversary fundraising gala, cocktails at 6, dinner at 7:30 in the evening, entertainment by award-winning artist Latoya Mullings and others. And this will be at 60 McDowell Gate in Markham, Ontario, a place called Crystal Fountain at 60 McDowell Gate in Markham, Ontario, Canada. Tickets, $100. Proceeds in aid of the 6th Form block at Knox here in Jamaica. And so that's just a quick snapshot of some of the events that are happening and or will be happening in Canada starting tomorrow afternoon at 2 with the launch of Fred Kennedy's book, Firstborn, at the Jamaican Canadian Association Center, 995 Arrow Road in North York, Ontario, Canada. And it has the support, naturally, of Grace Kennedy Foundation and indeed the entire Grace Kennedy group. And you can RSVP fwkennedy.author@gmail.com, fwkennedy.author@gmail.com. So those are the happenings in Canada, and all the very best to the entire team at the Consulate General of Jamaica in New York. All the best. And if we start listing the missions now, we're going to get into trouble. So we're going to leave it there for now. And hello to all those who are serving the interests of Jamaica, the interests of Jamaica and Jamaicans all across the globe. Stand by. After the break, we have our guests who will join us.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
approaching, we're seconds away. Now would be a good time to set your watches and your clocks as far as the time is concerned. Seconds away. So let's tell you 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7 o'clock in the morning here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Kyiv, Ukraine.
Let your voice be heard. Watch TVJ, TVJSN, JNN, or One Spot Media and vote for your favorite in the RJR Gleaner National Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year Awards, People's Choice Performance of the Year Award. Vote from Fabian Allen's CPL catch for the Jamaica Talawas, Shelley and Fraser Price's World Championships 100-meter win, Nicholas Hamilton's won the goal in the Jamaica Premier League.
Okay.
The Reggae Girls 4-0 win over Haiti. Vote by text or voice to 876-444-2473 or online at the RJR Gleaner Sports Foundation website or any of the websites of the RJR Gleaner Group. Sponsored by VM Group, J. Ray Bellevue, Main Event Entertainment Group Limited, the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, Pure Country, Free Your Image Consultancy, Television Jamaica, the Gleaner Company Media Limited, TVJ Sports Network, Radio Jamaica Limited, Hits 92 FM, Power 106 FM, RETV, Jamaica News Network, and One Spot Media.
Wherever you go.
Morning, Miss Gordon. Can you Happy New Year? Can you remind me? Do you say Evelyn or Evelyn?
You shine.
Evelyn.
You make us proud.
Morning.
Despite our
Thank you.
challenges at
All right.
home,
All right. Stand by
never
for
give
the
up on us.
discussion, please.
Our
One moment.
sincere thanks. Wherever you go.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we are happy to have been invited to feature the launch of the Learn It tablet program for primary schools in Jamaica, which is scheduled for the 11th to the 13th of January 2023. And who better to tell us about it than our guests at this time? And so we welcome the immediate past president of the Union of Jamaican Alumni Associations, UJA, Leslie Ann Samuel. Hello, Happy New Year, good morning, how are you?
Great, thank you so much for having me, Dervan. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you on, and of course, we are very delighted as well to have joining us Ms. Evelyn Gordon. She is speaking with us in her capacity uh, as as the co-chair of this Learn It Tablets initiative. Good morning to you, Ms. Gordon, and Happy New Year. How are you?
Good morning, Dervan, and Happy New Year to you, and thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on board. Forgive me if I seem a little slow, but I'm flipping through uh, notes here and a couple of email messages just to make sure I stay on track as far as this segment is concerned. And so we want to start, first of all, Leslie and Samuel, can you remind those of us who know and enlighten those who don't what the purpose of UJA is?
By all means, happy to do that. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
So, UJA, Union of Jamaican Alumni Associations, USA Inc., is a 32-year-old organization. We are a non-profit umbrella organization of alumni associations of primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions in Jamaica. We are all volunteers. We are based in New York, and it was created to unify the activities of all the associations dedicated to the improvement, really, of educational opportunities for all students in Jamaica, and even those that have immigrated to the USA. So that's who we are. We currently have 63, if I remember my numbers correctly, member organizations that are a part of UJA. We started, I think, with 16 or 17. So we've grown quite a bit over the years. And we are delighted to be with you this morning.
Thank you. Pleasure to have you join us on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online. Now, Ms. Evelyn Gordon, can you please tell us about this laptop and Learn It tablets program and how this came about?
Happy to do that, Dervan. The UJA launched the laptop tablet program in late 2020, shortly after the coronavirus pandemic became a reality. Member associations realized the critical need for learning tablets for their school collectively. And so we put plans in place under the President Leslie Ann Samuel to acquire donations and devices for the sensible strategy that included buying in bulk and distributing across the island, shipping them through the National Education Trust to schools across the island.
And
first shipment was done in 2021, and there have been several shipments over the past 2 years through the National Education Trust to member schools across the island. Alumni associations have been purchasing devices at discount prices on a regular basis to ship to their schools. High schools associations took the lead, closely followed by our primary schools.
And what can you tell us with respect to how the decision is made as far as identify? Do you wait to be contacted by the alumni associations or the schools themselves? But how do you decide which institutions to deal with now as opposed to next week, next month, etc.?
Well, as Leslie mentioned, we have 32 strong, 60 plus organizations, and all organizations speak with their school on a regular basis. So the goal is to, we stay focused. We are in touch with our various schools, and based on the needs, based on the conversation between the alumni president and the school, that is how the needs arise, and that is how we decide how many tablets are needed by school. The Alumni Association are doing an amazing job gathering funds, doing fundraisers, and making sure that their school, whatever they need in terms of the technical as well as other things, that they have these devices at their hand at the drop of the hat.
Mm-hmm. And where are you right now in terms of the provision or procurement of tablets? What is that demand like? Are you able to fulfill the demand, the requests?
Yes, thank you for that question. Yes, we can fill that demand. As I said, we work closely, and as the needs arise, we are able to get the tablets, working with the National Education Trust, of course, with the alumni president and the respective schools, and make sure these tablets are shipped as quickly as we can and into the hands of our students.
All right, hold it right there, please, Ms. Gordon, as we bring Leslie and Samuel back into the conversation here with respect to UJA's overall goal. I mean, how is there? Is what's likely to be the life of this program? Is this likely to be an ongoing or a programmed for a particular time kind of initiative?
I think I find Dervan, let me make sure that everybody is clear about a couple of things.
Yes.
What we're talking about, first of all, is what we call the laptop and tablet program, which is a fairly broad program. We essentially established some relationships with a couple of device providers, the Dells of the world, if you will.
Yes.
Okay, to be able to buy in bulk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that continues, that relationship continues, and we are quite prepared to continue to work with our associations to provide particularly laptops at the high school level. Let me say it that way. For as long as they need. We think the days of textbooks in hard copy and use of exercise books and all those kinds of things are quickly fading. Okay. I mean, you all know that I teach at the college level, and we don't use textbooks at all. I've had it for years for my class. Yes. So, the times are changing. So, we have to think about equipping our schools accordingly. What is really happening right now is our Learn tablet program, which is specifically geared for the private schools. This is a very special device in that it has over 180 applications already loaded on it. So it's not just a device. Okay, this is a tool. Yes. This is a learning tool that has been prepared by Caribbean eBook. It does not require the internet to operate. That is the key to this. All right? And our goal here is to get this device into every primary school in Jamaica. I know, Dervan, it's ambitious.
Yes, because we have almost 800 primary schools, public primary schools.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Correct. Okay, so we have 36 that we have hit so far. Okay, with the launch that we are doing next week, we will have hit 36 of the 750, 800. So we have a little ways to go.
Yes.
But that's why we're on your program.
To get the word out there.
Yes, because it is, we have seen the evidence that has convinced us that tools like this, especially for the primary school students, helps with engagement. okay,
Mhm.
for the students themselves. They want to now come to school if they have an opportunity to play. They think they are playing, but they're really not. Okay, they're doing what is called touch, listen, do, learn it. That was coined by Caribbean ebook.
Mhm.
So it's a process that engages them in a way that exposes them and helps them to learn in a different way.
Yes. And I'm happy you mentioned the bit about not the devices apparently not being internet dependent,
Important.
because that has emerged as a big problem since the advent of COVID-19, where you get devices, but then there is no IT infrastructure.
Right.
So
Exactly.
mhm. So that
So
mhm.
these devices do not require the internet to operate. Now, every once in a while, they may need to do an update to the system. But that is, so that's an hour here and there. Okay, that's quite different than needing the internet for the device to actually operate. So we believe that a device like this can truly revolutionize education for Jamaica.
Mhm.
And that's why we saw it in 2021. We were actually introduced to it by Dr. Karen Dunkley. That is how we met Caribbean ebook and Mr. Gerald Webb, who is the founder, who truly has a vision of changing education across the Caribbean. He's not Jamaican, but it don't matter,
Mhm.
you know.
he's a friend of Jamaica, a friend of Jamaica.
Absolutely, a
All
very
right.
big friend of.
Hold on. Tell us some more in just a moment, please.
Healthy habits start with washing your hands several times per day with soap and water. If soap and water are not available, use Benjamin's hand sanitizer and rubbing alcohol. The time by Benjamin's is
7:15 in the morning here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it is 12:15 p.m. in Bamako, Mali.
For 50 years, Under the Law has been helping you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. The program is brought to you on Tuesdays by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. Grow smart, eat smart. Under the Law at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. and at 4 and at 9:55 p.m. on Power 106 FM.
Wherever you go, in tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go, shine.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Online, we have co-chair of the Learn It Tablets for Primary Schools program, Ms. Evelyn Godden, and with her is the immediate past president of the Union of Jamaican Alumni Associations, UJA, Ms. Leslie Ann Samuel. And they've been sharing with us the details of a big launch that is happening next week, the 11th to the 13th, off the top of my head, sorry. Ladies, is that the time period?
Yes, it is.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. And so we're learning more about this initiative and anxious to spread the word, to create a greater level of awareness so that those who are able to come on board, and in fact, can you perhaps, Ms. Gordon, tell us about that in terms of onboarding primary schools? How does that? What are the mechanics of that engagement?
Well, we are working with the Jamaica Teachers Association. We currently have 9 member organizations in UJA that is currently using the tablet. And there have been great improvement across those 9 primary schools that are utilizing this device at this moment. What we are doing in this rollout that we're doing over the next couple of days is visiting these schools, building the relationship with the respective principals and UJA as well as the GATA, and set up a training program and to get them ready to be exposed to this learning tablet. Mm-hmm. So we, as Leslie mentioned, the goal is to make sure we have a tablet in every student in the primary school to increase literacy and numeracy across the island. So that is our goal. The learning provides a digital environment, Dervan, that short circuits the short attention span that children exhibit where digital interaction is absent. With the Learn It, students develop a learning habit that easily integrates with chalk and talk teaching. So the goal is, kids are, attention span can be short. So having this device, you have them focus and to make sure they're actually learning to increase their reading as well as numeracy using this tablet. So we're excited about this. It's a great program. The Learn It can be used to evaluate each student's knowledge level. And when Learn It is followed, it becomes really fun and the student excel. It provides information teachers need to successfully implement Learn It in the classroom. It is part of the curriculum, so it can be integrated into the curriculum for the primary school.
Yes.
So make it easily for the students to access this and to improve across the board.
Right, and you've referenced the Jamaica Teachers Association. Naturally, there's UJA, there's the Learn It team. Are there other stakeholders who have been supporting this initiative that you would like to mention?
Well, we have the Caribbean ebook, as Leslie mentioned, who is a partner on this and will be working with us. And we hope to have other partners join us, some of these large companies that we have. We're hoping on this long... Sorry, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I said we have the Caribbean ebook who will be joining us on this mission across the island. Mm-hmm. And we hope as we go across the island and as we on stage like this talking to you, Dervan, everybody is hearing what's happening, and we hope we can galvanize and get all of the great sponsors, all of the stakeholders, and we would like to get everybody on board. So we're looking for NCB, Victoria Mutual, all of the companies us to sponsor this great initiative. So the goal is for us, as Leslie mentioned, the mission is to get a tablet in every student. We're looking for everyone to get on board to help us to make this happen.
Yes. And Leslie and Samuel, if you could just spell it out for all of us as stakeholders listening, those of us who are regarded as stakeholders, at this stage, what do we need to do? What can we do? What should we be doing to mobilize the kind of support that this initiative deserves?
So, it's like to understand what is actually happening this week, Dervan. We are actually going to be distributing 10 tablets to 18 schools. Okay? 4 of those schools are part of something we call our Adopt a Primary School program, which is basically high schools adopting a primary school, right? And so there in itself becomes an opportunity for high schools and their alumni associations to partner with their feeder schools, if you will, okay, to move this initiative forward. The additional schools that we will be distributing tablets to, as Lynn mentioned, were identified by the JPA. So, what we are really trying to do here is, as we also said, is we're really trying to get some good data from these schools, okay, to convince the larger funders, if you will, of the world, that this is a worthwhile initiative. So that's really the process that we will be engaged in over the next 6 months. And then we'll be going full force with trying to contact and engage sponsors to see if they will join us in this initiative. Not to say that we are going to stop, that we are not going to stop.
Yes.
But if individuals are interested in supporting, they are most certainly welcome to visit UJA's website, ujausa.org. There's a donate button on our website. There's a page, actually. They are more than welcome to donate to UJA and simply tell us that they want this to be a part of learning. That way we can ensure that those funds get directed to the purchase of additional tablets for additional schools. I think that is the smartest way right now.
Yes. And in terms of the general, what do you call it now? Not assessment, but is it part of the mission to, as you go along, to document from the standpoint of the educators, those who are in the classrooms and those who are maybe teacher assistants, etc., is part of the process to document their interaction and the ultimate outcomes and the impact on their performance as far as pedagogy is concerned?
Absolutely. The whole point here, the part of the reason that we are here is because we were exposed to some data from Leafy Primary. They were actually the first school in Jamaica to get the learning tablet. And so this was several years back. And they were able to save that school, actually. Okay, this was a school that was teetering on being closed. And they were able to significantly, and when I say significantly, I'm talking about data that is of the nature of going from something like 17% average results in numeracy to 68. That's significant, okay, over a 2 to 3 year period. So similarly for literacy, going from 51% to 80%. I mean, those are big numbers. So yes, we are very, very interested in not only the students as a whole, how they perform, but also to get the feedback, if you will, from the teachers and support staff about the value and enhancements, of course, that we can provide to the students. We are thinking that this makes their lives a little bit easier as well. And we're not sure. They kind of have to tell us, right?
Yes.
But we are very hopeful.
Good. And Evelyn Gordon, in terms of the devices themselves, and I think this has been touched on somewhat during this conversation, this discussion, the technology, especially in this day and age, it advances very quickly. You think you have the latest, and by the time you share your latest with somebody, they're saying, "Oh, well, we have advanced. We're now at this and that, and so on and so forth." What's the procedure or the protocol in place to deal with that time when some technology, some software on the device needs to be upgraded, etc.? Who takes responsibility for that? Who coordinates that?
Thank you for that question, Dervan. We're working closely with Joel Webb, the Caribbean ebook developer. They have a support team, and they constantly look at ways to improve. If there's a changes that need to be done, it would be on the app, and the students or the principals have the ability to upload immediately. So that is something that we work closely. We, meaning UJA, work closely with Joel and his team to make sure the upgrades are done in a timely manner, and information is shared across the board to all of the principals to make sure they're getting the updates as things change. As technology changes, as you mentioned, so quickly. So we are in a position at this time to make sure as changes occur, it is uploaded immediately to the tablets and everyone can retrieve it and move on to make sure the students are kept abreast of the new rollouts.
Yes. All right. And so the event for next week, the 11th to the 13th, who is invited to that? A specially invited guests to witness the launch?
We are
go ahead, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, we are certainly hoping that some of the media houses will join us. So on Wednesday, we'll be at the JTA for the distribution of the tablets to the Doctor Primary School program institutions. So some of our alumni associations will be present, as well as the primary schools themselves. So the JTA kindly agreed to host us on that day, where we will be at headquarters for the JTA at 2 o'clock. Now, on Thursday and Friday, we will actually be traveling in 3 teams across the island. We have one team going to St. Thomas and Portland. We have another team that will hit Trelawney and St. James and Hanover, and a third team that will hit St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. So we are going up into the hills of Westmoreland to Cope's View, for example, to actually take tablets to them, so that they will actually have the tablets in hand. So if anyone is in the neighborhood, I will share that list with you. Dervan, I'm not sure if it was shared with you in advance.
Sorry, hold one moment and we come back to the list. One moment, please.
Annual eye examinations not only assess your vision, but may be life-saving. Eye tests may detect serious health issues that go beyond your vision. Call IQ Optical to schedule your comprehensive eye test today. The time by IQ Optical is
7:30 in the morning here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 4:30 a.m. in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
For 50 years, Under the Law has been helping you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. The program is brought to you on Tuesdays by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. Grow smart, eat smart. Under the Law at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. and at 4 and at 9:55 p.m. on Power 106 FM.
Wherever you go.
We're wrapping our discussion with Leslie Ann Samuel, immediate past president of UJA, the Union of Jamaican Alumni Associations, and Evelyn Godden, the UJA Primary Schools Learn It Tablet Committee co-chair. They have been sharing with us their plans for the upcoming rollout and launch and promotion of this Primary Schools Learn It Tablet initiative happening next week from the 11th to the 13th of January. And we want you to help us to get the word out there and play whatever part you believe you can play in supporting this worthwhile and worthy initiative. Going to the break just now, I think you want to just pick up at what you were saying there, Leslie and Samuel.
Sure. So here's the schedule. On Wednesday, we will have Central Branch Primary, Spalding, St. Jude's Infant and Primary, and Brownstown Primary in the house at the JTA. Then on Thursday, the 12th, we'll be visiting Port Moran Primary and Dalby Primary in St. Thomas, Mount Peter Primary, Mount Horeb, and the Cocoon Castle. Those are in Hanover and St. James. And then we'll be also visiting Bridge River and School Field in St. Elizabeth. That's on the Thursday, the 12th. Then on the 13th, we hit Norwich and Boston Primary in Portland, Mount Zion in St. James, Waldensia and Hampden in Trelawney, and St. Paul's and Cokeview in Westmoreland. So we will be all over the island visiting all these schools and introducing them to the learning tablet. So if anybody's in the neighborhood hearing our voices this morning, you are welcome to join us. We'll be there mostly in the morning, but please do contact us if you would like, usausa.org. There's a contact button on that website, and we'll be happy to give you more information.
Excellent. Well, we want to congratulate you both on the respective roles that you've been playing in the development of Jamaica and Jamaicans through using education as that vessel. We want to encourage stakeholders to continue to support the respective initiatives. We want to thank those who are on the ground playing their part, and we just wish for another successful initiative, in this instance, the Learn It tablet program. So thank you very much for the work that you continue to do, Leslie and Samuel, immediate past president of UJA and also co-chair UJA Learn It Tablet Program Committee, and of course Evelyn Gordon, the UJA Primary Schools Learn It Tablet Committee co-chair, president of New Day Primary School Alumni Association. That's New Day. That's in Barbican, right? Is it?
That is correct,
Yeah.
Dervan. Yes.
Right. And of course, a director on the board of UJA. We thank you both very much. Hope we didn't forget anything. We've covered all the bases.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you both so much. All the best.
Thank you for having us, sir. Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Take care.
Yes, take care.
All the best. Bye-bye. Listening there to Leslie and Samuel, immediate past president of UJA Learn It Tablet Program Committee co-chair, and Evelyn Gordon, the UJA Primary Schools Learn It Tablet Committee co-chair, president of New Day Primary School Alumni Association, and a director on the board of the Union of Jamaican Alumni Associations, UJA. So we thank the UJA team and their partners for the work that they have done and are continuing to do. Well done. Let's clear a couple of messages before we move to our next segment. And we haven't cleared them in a while, so there are quite a few. Wayne Golding Senior CD JD says, good morning, Sir Dervan. Good morning, Mr. Golding. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in, and all the very best. Pauline Baker, hello. Good to see you online. Thank you. Good morning to you too. Thanks for joining us. Wayne Golding Senior CD JD says, good morning, Sir Dervan. Up early on a Saturday morning with you, watching and listening from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service office in Orlando, Florida, representing another Jamaican doing, where did the message go? Representing another Jamaican doing the responsible thing of acquiring their U.S. citizenship. Jamaicans are one of a unique set of people in that they can enjoy dual citizenship in the USA. Thank you for that reminder, Wayne Golding Senior, CD, JD. Jose Marti Alumni Association, New York chapter, they're waiting in the wings. They're next in line for their blessing. They're greeting us. Good morning. Happy Sabbath to you and your listeners. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you very much, Jose Marti Alumni Association, New York chapter. Angelia Christian is in London. She says technology is part of everyday life now. From the moment you wake up, it's data, your phone, your tablet, it's in your hand. It's like you cannot escape it. And Angel goes on to say, good morning, Dervan, Malcolm, Power 106 Diaspora. Happy New Year from Angelia Christian, Angel Foundation, UKJA, and Team Martin Day. Greetings. We reciprocate wholeheartedly. Jennifer, let's see. Jennifer A. Brown says, good morning, Dervan, Malcolm. Congratulations to UJA USA Inc. for the awesome work. And let's just make sure we clear all of these messages. We value your input and your participation as always. Jennifer Brown says, good morning, Dervan, Malcolm. Congratulations to UJA USA Inc. for the awesome work. Jennifer A. Brown says, no, thank you. Stafford Grant says, good morning, Dervan, and your team. Right, Jennifer says, and thank you, Dervan, for being a champion of UJA anytime. And Stafford Grant says, good morning, Dervan, and your team. Great work, UJA. Please, Dervan, call upon the communities to help with the protection of the equipment in the schools from thieves. It is there for the children in the community. Thank you for that. We'll be happy to spread the word. Mikey Sparkle says, good morning, Dervan, Malcolm. Blessings. Morning to you too, Mikey Sparkle. Thank you all so much. Keep those comments coming in. In the meantime, we are going to change gear and focus now on the work of the Jose Marti Alumni Association New York chapter, and indeed the Jamaican chapter, and the celebrating the school itself, because it's that time of year when the school celebrates its milestone, and there is a lot to celebrate as far as Jose Marti High School is concerned. And so we're going to be looking at the contribution that the school has made and continues to make. We have quite a bit of ground to cover. So let's see. We want to also speak with the co-chair for the Dr. Karen Dunkley-led Jamaica Northeast Diaspora think tank education sector. And let's just get straight to it and welcome those present. So Tuesday, let's set the stage. Tuesday, the 10th of January, that's Tuesday coming, as we say, next week Tuesday coming, the 10th of January will be Jose Marti Technical High School's 46th anniversary celebration and awards ceremony, starting at 7:30 in the morning. You spread the word, tell your fellow past students of Jose Marti that that's the place to be, Tuesday, January 10, at Jose Marti Technical High School for the 46th anniversary celebration and awards. You'll hear more about that as the discussion goes on. But first, let us greet co-chair for the Dr. Karen Dunkley-led Jamaica Northeast Diaspora think tank education sector. She's an inclusion specialist, state transformation specialist for the New Jersey education system, and founder of Inclusive Schools Caribbean, a nonprofit organization. Hello, Mrs. Erise Reed. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I am fine, thanks. And Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you for inviting us to share with you this morning.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you on the Jamaican Diaspora live online here on Power 106 FM. Can you give us a sense of your Jamaican roots, first of all, your Jamaican heritage?
Well, I was born in Jamaica, grew up in Central Village, so in the same neighborhood that Asamarti is. And I attended St. Catherine Prep, passed the common entrance for Immaculate, so I think I'm showing my age when I say that, the common entrance,
Yes.
and ended up migrating to Philadelphia shortly after.
Why did you choose education, or did education choose you?
I think education chose me. I grew up in a family of educators. My aunt taught at St. Catherine Prep, another one at St. George's, my uncle at St. Hugh's. So it was kind of destined, but at a very young age, I think because of the neighborhood that I grew up in, I knew that I wanted to change the system. And I knew early on that education was the way to change it. So I think it was something that was destined. It chose me.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of your skill sets and your accumulated knowledge, experience, and expertise, what are the areas of education that you focus on?
For a while, I was a literature teacher, and I got my master's in secondary education with a focus in special education. So for many years, I worked in special education, supporting students with disabilities or students who just need additional support. And right now at the state level, I support districts, so any like school leaders and administrators with building more inclusive systems. And that could be through training of teachers or consulting. So that's just a little bit of what I do.
Mm-hmm. And give us an idea of the role of in terms of partnering with or working with the Jamaica Diaspora Northeast think tank. Are there particular events, activities, engagements that you have been able to work out along with Mrs. Reed?
Well, you're talking about some of the things that we've been able to accomplish, like during our time or term.
Yes.
Well, the education sector, I'm co-chair with Kashia, and under the leadership of Dr. Dunkley, we were able to partner with Michael Teachers College to provide consulting and support. We participated in the Caribbean discourse on autism in April, and we also spend the majority of our time supporting Asamarti by just being a thought partner. And of course, my team also produced a lot of like webinars around organizational development and, building teacher capacity.
One moment, please. Let's take a break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
7:46 in the morning here on Power 106 in St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it is 9:46 p.m. in Tokyo, Japan.
Both sides of the story. Do you have a title for your land? Are you thinking about buying or selling land? How much is your property worth? Tune in to Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for The NLA and You, a program that examines the National Land Agency's role in building an efficient and transparent land titling system for Jamaicans. That's The NLA and You on Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, committed to serve you better.
In tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go, shine.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we see the Hosemati Alumni Association New York chapter saying, congratulations, Yuja, congratulations, Leslie and Samuel, and your team for the awesome job you're doing. And Leslie and Samuel says, sincere thanks, Dervan, for sharing Yuja's story and our work. We appreciate you and your listeners. We encourage everyone to visit our website from time to time, ujaausa.org, ujaausa.org, and donate when you can. Much love, says Leslie Ann Samuel. Thank you very much. Let's continue our conversation in this next segment on the subject of Hosemati Alumni Association and their supporting partners. So, for example, reference was made a short while ago before the break that Mrs. Eris Reed also provided some kind of support to the Hosemati Alumni Association, New York chapter as well. Just wanted to get a word on that particular engagement. Mrs. Reed, how did that come about?
It came about first when I met the amazing Sharon Smith. She
Isn't she? Oh my goodness! Yes,
vice president of Jimani, and she's a think tank member. And when I heard that she was involved with the Alumni Association at Hosemati, I knew that I wanted to be able to give back to schools in Jamaica, and Hosemati was the ideal school because that's the school in the neighborhood that I grew up in. So we connected, and from there, I was introduced to another amazing person, Mrs. Jessette Stoner. She is the head of the apps department at Hosemati. And we have been in communication, and just I would actually consider her a friend. No, because we're always on the phone talking and problem solving, and identifying barriers to learning that exist within the program and finding solution for those barriers.
Excellent. Well said. Well put. Pause right there, if you don't mind, as we bring in the cast of Hosemati Alumni Association New York chapter and the school itself. And so let's greet the president of the Hosemati Alumni Association New York chapter, Mr. Kevin Jello. How I'm tempted to ask if you're feeling mellow.
Always. Good morning, Dervan.
Morning. How are you? Happy New Year.
I'm very good. Happy New Year to you, sir. Good to be back on your program again. Thank you.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Welcome. Let's say hello as well to Madam Secretary Simone Gardine. Simone? Okay, welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. And
thank you for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Also representing Hosemati Technical High School, the institution itself, Mrs. Keisha Ford Walker, grade 9 coordinator, past student liaison officer. Good morning. Happy New Year. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm happy to be on your program another time. Thank you.
Pleasure to have you on board. And a lady whose name has already been called by Mrs. Reed, and that is Mrs. Jessette Stoner, head of the Alternative Pathway to Secondary Education apps. Welcome and Happy New Year to you too, Mrs. Stoner.
Good morning, Mr. Malcolm. Happy New Year to you too. Thanks for having me this morning.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much. Well, since just like in the sport of football, as we saw recently, passing the ball around and scoring, it's your time to receive the ball right now. because Mrs. Eris Reed passed the ball without announcing it, but she just passed it. And that ball goes to you, Mrs. Jasseth Stoner, head of the Alternative Pathway to Secondary Education apps. Since it was mentioned, I thought let's just go to that one first. What is that program all about, Mrs. Stoner?
The APPS program, as you have said before, the Alternative Pathways to Secondary Education, it is an approach. It's not a program. It's an approach. In other words, it's a strategy or intervention that was placed into the secondary education by the Ministry of Education since 2016, where we cater for students who have challenges, learning challenges.
Yes.
And so they were placed in pathways. So just to give you a little bit of knowledge about it, it's more of a constructivist approach where we look at student-centered learning, because the students are very weak, I must say. So when they're placed on my pathway 2, that is secondary pathway 2, is that they need a moderate support to function properly at the secondary level. While at the pathway 3, those students sometimes they are not reading properly, or they might just be calling words, even though they are placed in the secondary school. And so we give them the support that they need, the extensive support, especially for pathway 3 students who are not able to function in the high school setting as the regular students.
But you seem to have a way at Hosemati Technical High School of making much of whatever little there is, in terms of, in this instance, we're narrowing it down to learning, in terms of perhaps the students who perhaps didn't get the kind of support in those early years to be performing at the level they're expected to perform at high school. But you seem to have found a formula to transform them into outstanding learners. Is the apps approach to be cited as the reason for that?
I would not say it's just a more the apps approach kind of have been extended to my passion that I have for teaching and for students with learning. But before the apps came into the secondary school, the principal, Dr. Austin Wright, myself and some other teachers from the language department, we came up with a decision where there were students who were really weak, and so this was a program that was straight into the school, and we were working where we would look at the students' level that they came in, and we would be teaching them and testing their based on and seeing where they are weak. And I must say also that program has continued with me, even when it didn't die out, I wouldn't say, but I always have a passion to assist students when they seem like they're not functioning as how they should. But all of it didn't start with the app. It started before that with my passion, and I see teaching as a calling for me. As you have asked me to read, if it calls her, it does with me too. Because it's just this passion for students. I just don't like to see where they're not functioning at the level that they're functioning. And so I always try my best to see how is it that I can assist these students. And so I look at where they're found. I found them weak, and I try to create strategies to see how it can assist them. So it's like a trial and error thing for me at times. I started with even my son, my eldest son, and from there I realized that this is my passion, and then I continue to grow in that. So apps is a part of empowering me some more to continue to work with the students to ensure that they end up with some I don't even know, I'm kind of nervous. With the potential, they can reach to their full potential as a student who is able to with functioning at the level, the normal level. they too can function and reach to their fullest potential. And so that is how I got the drive to continue on this. Dr. Austin Wright and the language department started this program before the app came into place.
Understood. And let's find out from Keisha Ford Walker, grade 9 coordinator and past student liaison officer. How are the students by the time they get to grade 9? That's like the middle of the road, so to speak.
By the time they reach the grade 9, wow, they are going through so many different things. It's a tough year for them. It's identity issue, sexuality issue, learning issue. It is vast, and so it takes a lot on us coordinators and teachers working with the grade 9 to keep them focused, keep them grounded, and get them moving into the 6th year, which would become the grade 10 year. So we have to really try hard to hold them during the grade 9 year, push on them and direct them, because it's a rough year for them.
Yes. And in your capacity as past student liaison officer, what were your functions or your main function?
Well, as the liaison officer, I connect with both overseas and local aspect of the past students. I interact with all the different departments regarding past students and what they would like the past students to do for the different departments. In fact, when Miss Tona first spoke to me about the challenges she was having, I had first reached out to Sharon. And so that's where the original connectivity came about. But that's what I do. I do a touch and go. So if I get them connected, then I leave them to develop.
Okay.
And so I will be there on the ground, listening to the different departments, and then connect with Sharon. And through there, we are able to see if we're able to help a different department or program and such. I work closely with the breakfast program through the guidance department as well, which is also funded through Jamani. And that program is going quite well under the guidance of Miss Nelson Francis.
One moment. Give us a little more on the breakfast program after the break. Listeners, we're featuring the Hosemati Technical High School and the Hosemati Alumni Association New York chapter and their partners as we get a little closer to their 46th anniversary coming up next week, Tuesday, the 10th of January. There's more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
8 o'clock in the morning here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Real Business, appointment radio for everything economics, locally, regionally, and internationally. Real Business, your source for engaging conversations on business, finance, and economics. Join hosts Ralston Hyman and Dr. Andrew Sutherland from 9 to 11 a.m. on weekdays as they bring you the most authoritative analysis on economic matters. Listen to riveting features such as The Big Picture, Under the Financial Microscope, the Business Information Update, and the local and international market updates. From the latest happenings on various business sectors and players in the economy, to how fiscal and monetary policies affect your life, make it Real Business on Power 106 FM, Monday to Friday, 9 to 11 a.m., right here on Power 106 FM.
Wherever you go, in tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora live online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. We're featuring Hosemati Technical High School and their Alumni Association New York chapter and their partners on board. So far, we've been engaging in conversation, Mrs. Erise Reed, co-chair for the Dr. Karen Dunkley-led Jamaica Northeast Diaspora think tank education sector. She's an inclusion specialist, state transformation specialist for the New Jersey education system, and founder of Inclusive Schools Caribbean, a nonprofit organization. She's also been assisting in as best as she can with her schedule, Hosamati Technical High School. And also, we have the secretary of the Hosamati Alumni Association New York chapter, Simone Gardine, Mrs. Keisha Ford Walker, grade 9 coordinator and past student liaison officer, who just before the break was telling us about the breakfast program, and we're coming back to that in a moment. But we've also heard from so far Mrs. Jasseth Stoner, head of the Alternative Pathway to Secondary Education apps. But let's just get in that word on the school feeding program. Mrs. Ford Walker, please go ahead.
Well, the breakfast program was there before through Jamani again and Miss McKenzie, the original guidance coach at the time. So it's a revitalization of the program through the committed effort of Miss Smith. It's a passion of hers, and Miss Nelson Francis, the guidance department, and so we have revitalized the program. It is going well. The students have taken a positive approach to having the breakfast in the morning. We are going to be starting up again come next week. And so right now we are doing breakfast 2 mornings. The students are asking for more. We will see what happens. So it's not a heavy breakfast per se, but it's a healthy breakfast. So some mornings they'll have fried dumpling, some porridge, callaloo, mackerel. It all depends on what is on the menu, but they try to make it as healthy as possible. And the students are definitely going for it. So it will be finished in quick time. If they are late, they will not be a part of that. Right?
Yes.
And we are also looking out for anybody who also wants to contribute more to the breakfast program, because we could always use more support where that is concerned.
That's right. Stick a pin right there, as my late mother would say. But thank you very much, Keisha Ford Walker. Stay where you are. Simone Gardine, can we get a sense of what the support has been in terms of membership of the Hosamati Alumni Association New York chapter? And we're coming to the president because he's the man. He's going to be giving us more information. But in terms of the membership, have you noticed any significant movement in membership, let's say within the last year or so?
Well, our association is always receiving new members, and that's due to the work that we do. So our work is impacting on many different sides. So we have past student membership, and we also have an extended family where friends and family members of our association also feel the need to join us in giving back to our beloved alumni. So we have definitely seen growth, and people are always curious as to how they can become a part of this amazing association and how they can also assist in giving back to our school and the students.
Great. Thank you. Hold it right there. Let's bring in the president himself now, Mr. Kevin Jello. So, Mr. Jello, can you give us an idea of, or give our listeners an idea of the nature and extent of the work that the Hosamati Alumni Association New York chapter has been able to do, and perhaps still doing, as far as your alma mater is concerned?
and thank you again, and good morning to you, and good morning to our listeners. I just want to say thanks, a big thank you to the executive team here at Jamaica and its members and donors and contributors over the years, because without them, we couldn't have done anything, right? And, people have seen the work that we're doing, and, as Ms. Garden just said, always want to, be a part of this momentum and a part of this organization, giving back. So, over the years, we have given, millions of dollars to Germany, to the school through Germany, and these are all through donations and fundraisers, right? That giving back to the school, because we are passionate about Osamarte, and as our motto here, as we say, giving back is a must, because this is what have made us who we are today.
That's right.
So, yeah, and I'm just appreciative for the constant dedication and due diligence by the members and our our givers at this time.
Yes, you seem to have a growing population of friends of Hosemati.
Yes, and with people like we go back to Madam Vice President Sharon Smith. With people with that type of dedication, we definitely are growing, and we're growing pretty good, and we still are looking for new partners as we continue our endeavors for the school.
Well, speaking of partners, I gather that there are partnerships with obviously the Jamaica Northeast Diaspora.
Yes. Definitely strong partnership there, and we appreciate them, and we're looking forward to even doing much greater things this year and the coming years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's partnership like this that makes Jamani what it is, and in return the school benefited from this, right? Because like when we look at the Northeast Diaspora and what they have done so far, it's just nothing less than amazing, right?
Yes.
Partnership again, with like Minister Eileen Palmer of New Season Youth Program in the U.S. They're assisting students in again attaining scholarship for colleges here in the U.S. Right? And when we look at, and not to leave out the local chapter of the Osamari Student Association, led by Mr. Alex Shaw and his team there, it's partnership that grows us, right? Because no man is an island, no man stands alone. So these partnerships are extremely important from our members, our donors, and the different chapters. So we talk about the partnership with the local chapter. We'll look at partnership with the Osa Blue Royals, Osamari Past Student Association of Georgia, and also Past Student of Florida, and then the Osamari Social Club in London. And then, we have organizations like Microsoft, where I work, that's contributing to our cause, right? So it's these partnerships that help us to continue to grow, because individually we don't have it, right? But collectively we're powerful.
Yes, and as you mentioned, Microsoft and partners, there's also a partnership. I was reading for the chair of the security sector, Mr. Stafford Grant, an ex-soldier responsible for the coding program, which will see some 6 students from Hosemati Technical High School participating in the program starting this month, January.
Yep. So this is a new endeavor for us, and for me as a technologist, looking forward to seeing this kind of partnership and actually trying to grow it.
Okay, very good. And in terms of I gather, and I take note of the fact that the school continues to grow in more ways than one, in terms of, for example, I don't know if it was around or it has been around since I've been playing a part in assisting to get the word out there as far as Hosemati is concerned, but the SAT examination club, is that new? A partnership with
years ago. Yes, a couple of years ago. Yes, so that's new. to, and again, a lot of these initiatives are being driven by Ms. Sharon Smith. So we always try to find new ways. How can we help more? How can we do more? Right? Because it's never enough, right? When we look at the donation or the stipend from the Minister of Education, these schools will be nothing without an organization like Jamani, right? So we try to grow this more and more because the students looking to us more and more. These teachers, not having enough tool sets, say organically, it's partnership like these that really help, to drive things.
Yes. And
it's just a great pleasure for me to see, the stuff that we're doing, the partnership that other entities are doing as well. So, just giving back to the school.
Yeah. And if I could just go back to Mrs. Eris, thank you, Mr. President. Eris Reed, co-chair for the Karen Dunkley-led Jamaica Northeast Diaspora think tank education sector. You had referenced engaging Hosemati or helping to support Hosemati by virtue of your body of work and experience and expertise. How is that going? Or was it a one-off? Was it a one-off situation?
No, it's going well. So we have been able to accomplish a lot, I think, in the time that we've worked together. So one of the things that we were able to get is we were able to, with the blessing and the support of like Jamani, their family, the administrative team at Osamarti, Mrs. Stoner, we were able to secure a classroom, the APS classroom for students to receive interventions. Miss Sharon Smith was able to get volunteers to go and repair the classroom and paint it. We got desk and chairs that the administrative team found and delivered to the classroom. From Between Inclusive Schools Caribbean, which is my organization, and I'm also a board member at Urban Art Gallery here in Philadelphia. We were able to donate supplies for that intervention classroom, so calculators, rulers, books, manipulators for the children, math, and also for literacy. And Mr. Jello mentioned the importance of partnership and how he's partnered with the other alumni associations across the United States as well as in the UK. And I know that, I believe it's the UK chapter, Mr. Jello, you can correct me if I'm incorrect, that donated ACs for the classroom. So right now we have this wonderful classroom with resources where the students can go and be pulled and they can get the support that they needed, like the individualized support or small group support. And in addition to that, so that's one, it's a huge accomplishment for us. Another is, we're looking to provide more support for those students in the APS approach. So
hold on one moment, please. Let's come back to more support for the APS approach right after this break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
8:16 in the morning here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 6:16 in the evening in Aktau, Kazakhstan.
Both sides of the story.
Do you have a title for your land? Are you thinking about buying or selling land? How much is your property worth? Tune in to Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for The NLA and You, a program that examines the National Land Agency's role in building an efficient and transparent land titling system for Jamaicans. That's The NLA and You on Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, committed to serve you better.
Wherever you go, in tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, You shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we can't thank our guests enough for spending so much of their Saturday morning with us in terms of time. We want to say a big thank you. Well, first of all, to Sharon Smith, Vice President, who does a lot of work behind the scenes. And she's not one for the limelight, but she does a lot of work in that regard. And we thank her for helping us to put this segment together. Would like to also remind you that online we have Mrs. Jasseth Stoner, head of the Alternative Pathway to Secondary Education APPS program or approach. Mrs. Keisha Ford Walker, grade 9 coordinator, past student liaison officer, and the secretary of the Jose Marti Alumni Association New York chapter, Simone Gardine. It is, Simone, as opposed to Gardine?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank
but
you.
I'm flexible. I go with anything.
Yeah, I'm sure if we were to write a check with that, spelling it another way, you would take it still, right?
I definitely would try. Mr. Malcolm, if you
Yes.
don't mind, if I could just go back to highlighting some of the collaborations.
Sure.
Okay, so this year we are celebrating a year of collaboration with the different partnerships that we have had. And I just wanted to just add on to Mr. President in some of the areas that we have been working. So one of our major projects, as you know, is the APPS program.
Mm-hmm.
And through this program, we, as Mrs. Reed mentioned, we were able to collaborate with the 1987 batch to refurbish the classroom, as well as the Ozamarti Social Club of London, who furnished the room with 2 air conditioners. Other collaboration we have had, as you mentioned, is the SAT Club, where the students are getting, they work with a tutor to prepare them for taking the SAT examination. And this partnership is with JMAG and Minister Palmer of Seasoned Youth Program in the U.S. And we recently received a private donation. The donor wants to remain anonymous of $500 towards this program. Another partnership we have is the work that we do with the Jamaican Diaspora, which is led by Dr. Dunkley. And we did mention the security sector, Mr. Stafford Grant, Exposure, who's responsible for the coding program, which started this month, and we currently have 6 students in this program. So, like I said, this year is the year of celebrating collaboration, and these are some of the things that we have been doing. And again, a big thanks to Ms. Sharon Smith, who, like you said, she is the driving force behind the scene in helping us to come together with these different donors and different partnerships to continue giving back to our community.
Very good. Very well put. All right. So now we have just about 9 minutes before we wrap. The area. So how is that initiative going? The one where you have is that the same APPS program where you have the air conditioned rooms and the repainting and all of that?
Yes, that's correct.
Right. So is it too early to say how the impact on the students, operating in that kind of environment? I mean, most youngsters love AC. That's enough to get them to do anything. So I have no doubt that is. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I'll ask Ms. Stoner to comment on that.
Yes.
if she's still on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As you're saying, they love the AC. But before the AC was installed, the students were very appreciative for the setting up of the room. Despite the heat that was there before, seeing that it is on the block that Mrs. Ford Walker monitors. I also get a better feel of the grade nines. And so there are times when they tend to come in there. Just a little counseling, a little pep talk to just speak to me to find out how I can assist them, or they will just be there to just chit chat. And so that has been really a major I should say result as it relates to them. And as it based on their learning, they are grateful. And I see where it is not only pushing them to really learn more, but they're grateful that they will be able to have a room where they can, we can use the computers more, because the ministry also gives an approach when it was implemented into the school. In school, we get tablets and also desktop. And so I'm in the process of getting them started out. And so the students are really grateful that they have a room where they can come to have one-on-one. And as Ms. Garda mentioned regarding the other assistance with the footballers, because Ms. Sharon asked for the assistance for them. And they have been coming up one by one to ask for their assistance, whether in math, language, and we give them the support, my teachers and we give them the support as best as possible. So the room has been a great push for them to enhance their learning skills. And it also has been attracting the students who normally say, oh, go and see your apps room. Go and see your pro learner's room. And I would say, don't do that. One day you're going to want to come as well. And they're begging me, can I join your class? I said, no. But it's in joke. And then they will come in sometimes just to talk with us or to find out what we really do, what the after coach is about. I know that basically the teachers and the students are understanding more. That is not all about the students, that the students are done. I don't really use that term. It's that they just have learning challenges, but they can
rise above those challenges. Yes.
Yes. And they can overcome. Because if we look at it, most of special needs children are those children who create some things. I always talk about the Asperger, that person with Asperger. Was a person who builds the skyscrapers. So they have great potential. And we just need to tap into their interest as the whole aspect of the APT approach is to work with these students based on their interest, their ability, and all that they have within them, and just work on it to improve their skills, even though they have challenges. So the room has been a great push. Right. And I really appreciate all the support. And to add to that, Mr. Malcolm, the donation, the classroom donation, supplies that were sent, we haven't started using them yet, coming next week onwards. And I know the students will be so excited that they know we'll have, like when they're doing math, or they have challenges with words, they have manipulatives that they too can have an area that they can come and use during their lunchtime or even after school to enhance their learning challenges.
Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, just before we wrap, I want to give you each an opportunity. If there's any area, any point, any note that you want to get in before we wrap, now would be a good time.
Well, for me, I just want to say, a big thank you to the executive team here at Jamani, its members, the contributors, the silent partners, and of course, all our partnership across the Northeast. Jamaica, London, Georgia, and Florida, and of course, the local shops are led by Mr. Alex Shaw. And we're looking forward to this coming Tuesday, the 10th, for our 46th year anniversary. It's amazing to see that this school is no longer a youngster, but a mature, a grown-up, right? So we're looking forward to that. And again, thank you to all the faculty members at Osamarty. Just looking, forward to the continued partnership and support.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. President.
I will just add on to Mr. President to say a big thank you to all our supporters and everyone that continues to work with Jamani on these different programs. We always encourage everyone to just take a minute and go to jamani.org to look at different work that we have been doing over the years, and also to appeal to anyone who will feel a need to support any of these programs to come on board and help us to give back to these students and to help them reach our full potential. It is always good to become a mentor to one of these students because it not only helps them financially, but they also will have that person to look for support if they just need a little push or a little motivation to continue with their learning. So definitely would ask anyone who feels a need to just further understand what our collaboration is about to just go to jamani.org and take a look at our work and what we have been doing.
Thank you. That's Simone, right?
Yes.
Right. Good. All right. Have anybody else on the call would like to?
Well, I would like to say thank you to all of the team, Jamani, all the other past students in Florida, in UK, all of them, local and overseas, wherever they are. I also wanted to say that we did not mention much of the mentorship program, which is the fundamental program, and all the other programs that are currently on are there as what you call additional support that the Jamani and the rest of the team have been doing, because we still have about 54 students on the mentorship program, and that is separate and apart from all the other stuff that they are also taking part in, right? So big thank you. We welcome the support and we appreciate it from the school, all right?
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Good. So it's the sorry. Go ahead.
I guess I'll see you in person Tuesday.
All things being well, looking forward to that. Definitely.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Wonderful. And thanks to you, Mrs. Eris Reed. I'm sure you will want us to perhaps give you an opportunity. I don't know. You if you have something else that you'd like to put into the mix as we wrap.
Well, just congratulations to Osamarte on their anniversary, and also congratulations. They have an amazing team, and the work that we're doing, like, it can't be done in isolation. And in order for us to transform and change our communities, like, we have to be able to work together. And they're doing an amazing job, like, leveraging the relationship that they have with other organizations and their alumni association to make a difference in the lives of their students. So I commend them.
Excellent. In the meantime, thank you. Let us just spread the word to not just past students of Hosemati Technical High School, but the broader community. Join in the celebrations next Tuesday morning at starting at 7:30. Next Tuesday morning at 7:30, celebrating the 46th anniversary of Hosemati Technical High School. Thank you all so much for the work you continue to do in support of Hosemati, in support of education, in support of Jamaica and the world, because we're all connected. Thank you. Do enjoy the rest of the weekend, and all things being well, we'll see you on Tuesday at Hosemati on the school campus.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
More in a moment.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs-controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
8:32 on Power 106, and that's morning time. Let's tell you what time it is in Beijing, China. It's 9:32 p.m.
There's a retirement crisis in Jamaica, with only approximately 10% of the working
Well done.
population
Thank
saving
you.
towards retirement. Many people do not participate in a formal pension plan, such as contract workers and the self-employed, and some are not eligible for a government
That was
pension.
rather smooth.
Every member of the workforce has the opportunity to participate in a pension plan and secure a monthly income for their retirement. Join Real Business every Monday at 9:30 a.m. for an informative discussion with Peter Rose Hall, Managing Director of BPM Financial, discussing the importance of retirement planning and the solutions to move Jamaica out of this crisis.
The show is not done yet, no?
Brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher.
Let's see.
Wherever you go, shine. In tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go, shine. Don't wait. You need to know. Shine. Anything you want to be.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Hello to those who have joined us since the last time we checked. Naturally, the Hosemati High School Alumni Association, the Hosemati New York chapter, the New York chapter of the Past Students Association of Hosemati, saying happy 46th anniversary Hosemati Technical High School. We're proud graduates of this noble institution, Blue Bloods, Blue Kings, and Queens. And a lot of shout outs to President Alexander Shaw and the Hosemati Past Students Association, Hosemati Social Club of London, Hosemati Association of Georgia, Hosemati Past Students of South Florida, Hosemati Past Students of Canada, Hosemati Blue Royalties, and the list goes on. And we wish them all the best. Nicola in Central Jamaica, good morning to you. Paul, that's Paul Miles of the eponymous Paul Miles Foundation. Good morning to you as well. How are things in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? Chemist Roden says, New Year blessings to Dervan and all Jamaicans. Thank you very much. Many happy returns, Chemist Roden. And a Book 7 TV saying good morning. Good morning to you too. Thank you very much for tuning in. Keep those messages coming in as we continue with more on your program, the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. And we are doing a follow-up, a story that was brought to our attention. And the caption is, Disbarred is not denied. New York-based Jamaican-born attorney Audrey A. Thomas has filed an appeal against her disbarment. And we want to hear the details and to get an understanding of what happened or didn't happen and what happens from here on in. And we want to thank our guest, Ms. Audrey A. Thomas, for her readiness in sharing her side of the story here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online. Good morning and Happy New Year to you, Audrey A. Thomas. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. First up, let's establish the Jamaican connection as we like to do on this program. Where would you like to start in that regard? Your Jamaican roots, your Jamaican heritage.
I was born in Jamaica. I spent the first 10 years of my life there, and then I immigrated to New York, where I've spent the rest of my life. But I'm in Jamaica practically every few months, and as a practice for the last 12 years, I spend the entire month of April in Jamaica because it's the month of my birth. So I go back to Jamaica every April just to reconnect with my roots, to find myself, to just remind myself of where I'm from so that I can always know where I want to go.
Very well said. So then, is the has the legal profession always appealed to you from childhood days? Why law?
I've only ever wanted to be a lawyer. I always tell the story that as a child, I didn't play house, I played court. My Barbies often sued Ken. That was just the order of things in my life. It's probably because I grew up in a very loving, nurturing environment where I was encouraged to be my authentic self always.
Yes.
And so I was constantly being told, yeah, you're going to be a lawyer. You talk way too much.
And so how was it getting your feet wet as far as ultimately becoming a lawyer was concerned? What was that like?
It was an amazing experience. Just to give you a little background about myself,
Sure,
right?
sure.
So I'm the mother of 9 children, 6 girls, 3 boys.
Wow.
I had my first child when I was 15. I became pregnant at 14, had the child at 15. So my parents were very good friends forever, as long as I can recall, right? My dad remained in Jamaica. My mom is the one who came here, and that's why I came to join her. So what they have always done was try to teach me how to be true to self. You know, my grandmother, Olga, because I have several grandmothers, always said, to thine self be true, right? So when I became pregnant at 14, you know, they had a choice. They could have aborted a child and hushed me off in silence, or they could have found an appropriate way to reinvent me. And what they decided to do was my village, if you will, came together and they all cared for the child so that I could finish high school. Well, that didn't work out because eventually I just couldn't function in school, not because I didn't want to. I love school. I'm an intelligentsia fanatic. I love everything that has to do with intelligence and learning. And I read, prior to COVID, 1 book at a minimum every week. My issue was, because I was young and because this is 1985, you're talking about, they didn't want me in school because they said I was a distraction because my breast kept leaking milk. And they said it was disturbing the other children.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So you're talking 1985, right? So they put me in an alternative situation. And my mom, Patsy, I have 4 moms. I'll tell you the story about that eventually. But my mom said to me, sweetheart, you have a choice. You can either pretend like you're going to do this well, or you can abandon this and do something that you'll actually be good at. And I said, okay, Mom, I'm going to take the GED. So at 16, I took the general equivalency diploma exam and I passed it. And I'm very proud of that because I don't know if you're familiar with the American school system.
In terms of middle school versus?
Right, the hierarchy of things. The general equivalency diploma is something that people take like when they're 19, 20, you know, because they didn't go to high school or whatever.
Oh.
But it's very unlikely that a child at the age of 16 can pass this exam because it's very, very, you know, trying. You have to have a lot of knowledge and things. Well, the reason why I was such an exceptional attorney is because I love to read. I can read and I read very well. I did the reading. I studied the lessons. My brother Mark, who's a genius, who started college at age 11, tutored me. And the first time I took the GED at 16, I passed. So they let me graduate with my class at 17. So if you look in the George W. Wingate yearbook for 2017, you'll see a photo of me. So people think I graduated high school, but I didn't. I dropped out. I took the GED. Yeah, so after I took the GED, my mom said, you know, what do you want to do next? Let's call your dad and talk about it. And so my mom called my dad, Canute. I do have 4 dads. So my mom called my dad, Canute, and they talked about what I would do next. And so they decided that I should go enroll in a college program. And I got enrolled in New York City Technical. Here's the issue, right?
Yes.
So I graduated high school, I'm 17, but I'm an illegal alien. Because my mom smuggled me. Yeah, my mom smuggled me into the country. So
you would be one of the DACA children, so to speak.
In this day and age, yes, I would have been a DACA.
Mm.
So now I get accepted to the college program at New York City Technical, but I can't start a real college because I'm an illegal.
Mm.
In 1989. Ronald Reagan, thank God, had done the amnesty program, so I got my green card that way. But now you're talking 2017 going into 1987 going into 1988. So what I did was I had applied for that program that Ronald Reagan, you know, the Republicans had started, and I actually was lucky enough that when I went to the immigration office to find out what, if anything, could be done, the woman showed me my green card number. So I filled out all of my forms and I put the green card number on it, and that's how I got accepted to college. Oh. And so from there, I went to college. I got an associate's degree at St. Francis College. First I got a business degree from Blake Business School, and then I got a associate degree from St. Francis College. I got a bachelor's degree from St. Francis College in political science. Then I got a master's degree from Brooklyn College in public administration. Then I went and enrolled in St. John's University School of Law, where I received my Juris Doctor. And then from there, I did my PhD in general psychology and my master's in education. And now, since I have time on my hand, I'm going to do a master's in religious studies because I want to reconnect with my Hebrew roots. So I'm going to do that.
All right. Hold it right there for a moment. Let's take the break and come back. Listeners, our guest is New York-based Jamaican-born attorney Audrey A. Thomas, and she's sharing her story here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
coming up to 15 minutes to 9 o'clock in the morning here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 5:45 a.m. in Los Angeles, California.
There's a retirement crisis in Jamaica, with only approximately 10% of the working population saving towards retirement. Many people do not participate in a formal pension plan, such as contract workers and the self-employed, and some are not eligible for a government pension. Every member of the workforce has the opportunity to participate in a pension plan and secure a monthly income for their retirement. Join Real Business every Monday at 9:30 a.m. for an informative discussion with Peter Rose Hall, Managing Director of BPM Financial, discussing the importance of retirement planning and the solutions to move Jamaica out of this crisis. Retirement Wealth Creation is brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher. In tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and our guest at this time is Jamaican-born, New York-based Jamaican-born attorney Audrey A. Thomas. She has filed an appeal against her disbarment, and we're coming to that in a moment. And the story is "Disbarred is not denied," and you'll hear more in just a moment. So then, how would you characterize your practice before this situation arose?
I was like world renowned and extremely successful, right? I have a bragging point. Can I give it to you?
Sure.
So Ian Boyne had profiles, right?
Yes.
I am the only person in the history of his show that ever did his show 2 times.
Impressive.
I was a guest on his show 2 times in a row.
That says a lot. Yes.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? I'm very proud of that.
Indeed.
Mr. Boyne definitely had me in high regards, and likewise, let's peace Ian Boyne. I've done a lot in terms of, like I said to you before, my socialization. I was raised with a lot of love and encouragement, so it never occurred to me that I couldn't.
Yes.
I have really been she who stands between people and their would-be oppressor. And so I was the attorney you came to when you felt you had nowhere else to go.
Oh.
Yes. That was me. Like, I have, there's one young man who called me crying. Like, this man was bawling his eyes out because he had a case and he was told that there was nothing whatsoever that could be done. He was told with absolute certainty that any lawyer who took his money is a thief, right? Because there's nothing that could be done. And when he came to see me, I was very calm. And I said to him, listen, the rules of professional conduct says that an attorney cannot guarantee an outcome. They can't tell you you're going to win. I said, that rule works both ways. The attorney cannot tell you you're going to lose either. Because when an attorney gives you a specific outcome, they cut you off from all the opportunities that you could pursue. I don't know if you're going to win, and I don't know if you're going to lose. What I do know is if you pay me my money that I'm asking you for, I am going to do everything that I can, and I will not stop until you get what you're paying for and more. And needless to say, I took the case. I was fighting the case. The law was one way. Everyone was telling him the lady's a thief. His wife cussed me and told me I must want him. I'm like, no, we don't have the same taste. They're like gunman. And we were like going back and forth. But I kept his case and I kept fighting. And believe it or not, Mr. Malcolm, what happened is I submitted a brief and I won. They released him. He got his green card. And on January 6th, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to mess up the year, but I think it was 2008 or 9, he became an American citizen. This is someone that 4 lawyers and a judge told him nothing can be done, and any lawyer who takes his money is a thief. Yeah.
What a thing.
Yeah.
That's quite something. So now, in the interest of time, let's take it to the subject at hand. What happened?
Well, what happened to me is something that I think we all have experienced. You find out, no matter how great you think you are, that you're human first and everything else second, right? So this woman, Rhea Murray, I'm only going to mention her, even though her children, Anthea Murray and Bruce Oyunoiki, are the ones who are pursuing this and trying to, ruin my life, which they will never succeed at. This woman was instrumental in my life. I told you I had a child at 15, so I'm thinking that you've assumed that I wasn't like a saint as a teenager, right?
No, I wasn't thinking that, but obviously.
Well, I wasn't. I was probably one of the hardest teenagers any human being could ever raise, and I commend my family and my parents and my step-parents and my grandparents for doing such an exceptional job with me, right? I gave a lot of trouble, and this woman, Rhea Murray, was a beacon in the community of excellence, and she worked with everyone. My mom allowed me to live with her because they wanted the best for me. So I lived with her as a young person, and she changed my complete life. And that's the only time in my life that I ever really regarded someone to the point where I saw no bad in them, and I trusted them completely. And that's what happened. So Rhea Murray, I'm in this predicament because I didn't have her sign anything. right? And I know that the articles say that, oh, she stole this lady's money. But let me point this out to you, Mr. Malcolm. Who steals your money and pays your mortgage with it? Who steals your money and does $286,000 worth of legal work for various members of your family? You know, it's Barbara Duckworth, who is her sister, had 4 different cases that I had to manage successfully and win that never gave me a dollar, right? Her children, her nieces, her nephews, her grandmother, her aunts, all these people. I'm doing all of these things for what? Because I'm simultaneously a demon who steals old people money and the whole Mother Teresa? I think not. So that's what transpired. Ultimately, I did this case for her in 2013. I handled the case. Everything went well. Then my birth father, became ill, and I had to go to Jamaica to help to care for him because he had prostate cancer. And I handed over some of the cases to a friend of mine. And then I came back, and we were still very close. And ultimately, in 2017, I get a lawsuit from my friend Bernard Kleinman, stating that the children are saying that when I did the closing in 2013, I misappropriated some of the funds. And I defended that case. I won. The judge issued an order saying, we're not giving you summary judgment. You've provided no proof. And if you think a lawyer stole your money, why didn't you go to the lawyer fund? So they went to the lawyer fund a month later after that civil case was not successful. Of course, I hired Richard Grayson, and we defended the lawyer fund, and we won. And the lawyer fund said, we're not paying you anything, Ray Murray's children, because if you think a lawyer stole money from you, you have to go to the grievance committee. And if you win the grievance, only then would we help you. And of course, 2018, a year later, I get served with a grievance. So I hired first Ron O'Neill and then Winton Sharp, both excellent attorneys. And Ron O'Neill was destroying Ray Murray's children in 2019, July 12th. And he said to them, if you think this lawyer stole your money, why did you not go to the police? So on July 26, 2019, I got a phone call saying, hey, they went to the police, you should surrender. So on July 29, 2019, I was arrested and charged with 1 count of grand larceny. The irony behind that, Mr. Malcolm, is one of the reasons why I'm not in jail right now is because they lied and said they did not know me, that they hired me because I'm Black and I'm Jamaican. And my son, Andrew Fabian Coy Jr., was born in Ray Murray's home on July 29, 1989. And around the same time that this was all taking place, that child had secured his original birth certificate. So I was able to present that evidence and other things to show that there's a 30-year family relationship between me and this woman, and it wasn't just a lawyer relationship. And also, I was able to give a lot of the checks because remember, this is over a 6-year period. Most of the evidence is no longer available. But I did secure a lot of the checks, which I was able to give to show that most of the money that was spent was given to her directly or to some entity that was connected to her. Like I gave $100,000 to the mortgage company because her house in Brooklyn was in foreclosure. I gave $75,000 to another mortgage company because her house on Schenectady Avenue here in Brooklyn was also in foreclosure. I paid money for Anthea's property in Florida because she was in foreclosure. I paid money for Blewett's property. There were 10 tenants that were evicted because she didn't pay the mortgage and didn't answer the claims. I hired 2 attorneys, Stephen Metcalf and Terry Hines, to handle that, and I had checks to prove that I paid them. So what happens is the grievance committee, the case was ongoing, and suddenly I get a notice from a reporter saying that I've been disbarred. And there's a story behind that, but I'm sure you want me to stop so you can make inquiries.
The only thing is the time I'm looking at. We have 4 minutes before we have to wrap.
Okay, well, I'll use it wisely. So what happened is, right, why I'm appealing is because miraculously I get a notice that I'm being disbarred from a reporter. this story was leaked to the news people because I pressed charges against 2 judges in Nassau County and 4 lawyers. I went to the police and filed charges against them for stealing my client's house and for stealing over $250,000 from my client. And I filed several appeals and so forth. So that is all connected. I keep saying this is retaliatory. I've said this repeatedly because what happened here makes no sense. But what I am going to use my abilities to do is to fight this case. I'm going to appeal. I filed an appeal. I'm doing everything in my power because this color don't run. I'm Jamaican.
And how confident are you that in the final analysis you will be vindicated?
I'm confident that I've already been vindicated. Am I not talking to you?
You are, yes.
What they say isn't nearly as important as what I believe. I know the truth, and I have enough forums and platforms to make sure that at a very minimum, even if the people who are making the rules are dishonest, you know, they say numbers don't lie. I have all the right numbers to prove it, even if the mathematicians are dishonest and they choose to lie.
But what happens in the meantime with respect to your career?
I have every ounce of knowledge that I've acquired over the last 53 years. I still possess it. So I formed a corporation called thisbard1109.com, and I'm building my website. I'm doing different things. Remember, I've written 14 books. The reason why I was on Ian Bourne's show is because of 2 of those books that they had promoted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And helped me to talk about. So I'm extremely talented and resourceful. I am going to prove to them that me look about Metaloa.
Mm-hmm. We hear you loud and clear. Wish we had more time, but hey, we can always come back and discuss further as things unfold. But in the meantime, we thank you for sharing your story with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online, and please keep us posted and let's follow your journey.
Well, I'm grateful that you had me. All right, so I thank you for that, and please keep me in your prayers because this is not an easy road, and the only reason why I can take it is because I'm not alone.
Yes. Thank you so much, and all the very best. And we look forward to talking with you again.
Thank you for having me. Goodbye.
Okay, take care. That's New York-based Jamaican-born attorney Audrey A. Thomas, who has filed an appeal against her disbarment. And she has shared with us her side of the story. We remain open to any representative or individual who has an interest in this matter to feel free to join us and share their side of the story as well. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online, here on Power 106 FM. Thanks to Chandel Forbes and Celise Pinnock for doing technical and production duties behind the scenes. Thanks to all our guests. And big thank you to you, our faithful listeners and viewers all over the world, for making it the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online. All things being well, the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online returns next Saturday. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm wishing everybody a safe and peaceful weekend.
Power 106 FM just presented the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
9 o'clock.
Some stations lead, others follow. Accept no imitations. This is Power 106.
Falling into the spirit of the party starts to come alive.